Welcome back to Hannity. As the left's Russian collusion narrative collapses and scandals involving members of the Democratic Party continue to mount, liberal lawmakers and their allies in the media are lashing out at Republicans and others who are exposing them. Watch this.
Their attacks are not based on fact or logic. This is a hatchet job, plain and simple. The concerted campaign to discredit him and his investigation in the right-wing media is nothing more than propaganda and disinformation to try and turn the public's attention away from the real investigation.
We're witnessing a concerted, coordinated effort to try to undermine this entire investigation, from Mueller to the FBI to the Department of Justice, to make this all seem as though it's a corrupt enterprise.
Well, hear me out here. It seems to me that they're just throwing whatever they can, like monkeys, throwing poo against the wall.
These are actions that the White House wants them to take, that Steve Bannon wants them to take, but are enormously destructive of our administration of justice and of course, a major distraction from the Russia investigation.
This hearing is part of an ongoing Republican attempt to divert attention from the real investigation into the collusion between the Trump campaign and the Russian government.
All right, and joining us now with reaction, Salem Radio nationally syndicated host Larry Elder and Conservative Review contributing editor and former Secret Service agent Dan Bongino and Fox News contributor Tammy Bruce. First question, Tammy, why do they always have to bring the monkey cage into it? Like, that was a little bit crazy.
It's like that's the most they can think of. This is hysterical, isn't it? Yeah. And look, it's awful things they're saying, but what it really highlights is literally a meltdown. They don't know what else to say. It was a great day for not just the president, but for the country yesterday. It highlights what the Democrats have not been able to accomplish for at least 8 years. So there's a real meltdown. And this is this equivalent of like complaining about, poor Bob Mueller is the equivalent of saying that this tax and jobs bill was going to be Armageddon. It's as ridiculous, as ineffective. And of course, this is on the heels of all of these other remarkably, well, like the remarkable Politico story. You've been hitting all the marks tonight. Obama and Hezbollah, Ben Rhodes wishing that, saying that he wished to see the obits of Pence and McConnell and Ryan in public on Twitter, saying effectively he wants them to die. This is an admission by the left that they have failed completely, and all they have now is hysteria.
I mean, real hysteria, like, get some serious counseling, but Obamacare is not going to help you.
A few meds.
Exactly. Nice. All right, so Larry, do you agree that the left's attack on the GOP is seriously just a distraction to avoid all of these numerous Democrat scandals that we've seen in the news?
Of course it is. I guess I have two reactions. Let's remember how they treated Ken Starr. I remember James Carville said, I hate Ken Starr. I hate him. And this is America. You ain't got to love somebody if you don't want to. I hate Ken Starr. Right. They called him everything but a child of God. And it's not as if the critics of the Mueller investigation don't have merit, for crying out loud. What about all these appearances of impropriety? You've got staffers on this investigation that have said horrible things about Donald Trump, apparently involved in the GPS matter without telling other people. There are legitimate reasons to question this probe. When you have lefties like Alan Dershowitz and Jonathan Turley, two prominent left-wing law professors, also questioning the integrity of the investigation, maybe, just maybe, there's something about the integrity of this investigation that deserves questioning.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Dan, I've seen you on about this a lot. I mean, field day, right? Unbelievable.
You know, Kim, I'm tired of this, man, and America should be too. The Democrats get away with everything. And then what do? They turn around and they go to their media sycophant acolytes and they say, hey, please run cover for us on this fake Trump-Russia fairy tale. Remember, the Democrats are the party of IRS targeting, Fast and Furious, the sale of uranium to supposedly the most dangerous enemy in American history in the Russians. And now we find out from a Politico story by Josh Meyer, potential international gun running and drug dealing by Hezbollah, while the Obama administration is alleged to have looked the other way. And we're supposed to get all hot and bothered about a Trump-Russia X-Files, Gillian Anderson, David Duchovny conspiracy theory that not a human being's produced a scintilla of evidence about. I'm sick of these jokers, and everyone else should be too.
It's absolutely right. You know, Tammy, that's total corruption of the judicial process, misuse of FISA warrants, going to judges to try to achieve political and ideological political ends to try to specify who would be in the Oval. That's what they tried to do.
Yeah.
They tried to predetermine it, and then you have people like Peter Strzok saying, oh, it went an insurance policy, that they were all in to do this.
This was, of course, their presumption. It was their sloppiness was born out of overconfidence. They presumed she would win, and they got a little nervous, so they wanted that insurance policy, but they felt comfortable, Kimberly, to be as sloppy as they were because they felt the system would, in fact, make this happen. This is what's so shocking about what the American people did last year and why they can't adapt. This is their issue. And also, I would say that for when it comes to the Republicans, I appreciate, congressional investigations. There's a place for those. Clearly, if there was ever a special counsel required, it's regarding the Obama and Hezbollah connection, as well as Uranium One. Now, I know, again, Sessions is looking into the FBI dynamic with Uranium One, but these are crimes that are actually kind of so shocking. We're still trying to get our mind around them, but these are the things that they knew that they would need to cover for. This is what Ben Rhodes is still shocked about. They did things during the 8 years, and this is why, by the way, do you remember after the election, Hillary strangely apologized to Barack Obama? And I wondered at the time, they hated each other. Why is she apologizing to him? Because they knew what would come out as a result of her failure, and that's what we're dealing with right now.
Well, so there's the corruption and collusion, Larry. Feast your eyes on that. It's all over with them.
And my column that came out today, Kimberly, was about what would happen if Obama had spent the first 10 months of his presidency battling charges of collusion because apparently somebody in his campaign took a meeting with somebody who had opposition, dirt on his opponent. And for 10 months, Obama has been fending off accusations that he really didn't win the election. No, it was a collusion between him and Putin, and that's what got him the election. Can you imagine what the Black Lives Matter people would be doing, what the NFL players would be saying, what the Congressional Black Caucus would be saying, what the NAACP would be saying? They'd be screaming how racist this probe is, talking about how lame it is, that initially it was about collusion, then they couldn't find collusion, and then it was about lying to investigators, and now it's about obstruction of justice. This country would be on fire. So I asked my friends on the left to just imagine what things would be like if the same situation were done, except take out the word Trump and put in the word Obama. And tell me honestly how you feel about this probe.
Can I just add very quickly?
Real quick.
This is the Republicans have got to be aggressive on this. They've got to be extremely aggressive. They can't just put it into the hole of the congressional investigations. This is outrageous. And if the Americans see this being passed off, we'll have a crisis of trust again in the government.
All right, just got like a couple seconds left, Dan, to be fair to you, because they savaged an American family, great business people, and tried to undermine a duly elected president of the United States with this false corruption collusion hoax against them.
Kim, I think you're going to find out in the coming days and weeks that this special counsel has been a cover because they lost their insurance policy, which was Hillary Clinton in office to cover their misdeeds. This is their misdirection now, the special counsel.
It's all coming out, folks, right? All right, Larry, Dan, and Tammy, what a pleasure. Fantastic panel tonight, indeed.